got a red alert for you. Another state is sliding down the anti-gun slip and slide, and what is about to be voted on is really not good. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, the premier source for Second Amendment news. Today, I've got an important update for you coming out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The House Judiciary Committee has just passed a set of gun control bills, and these could have significant implications for the Second Amendment in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I'm going to walk you through exactly what passed, meaning what's going to the floor for a full vote, what it would likely mean, who voted which way, what the outlook is moving forward. And make sure you stick around, because if you care about gun rights, you'll want to know what's at stake, especially if you live in Pennsylvania. Hey guys, I'm Jared from Guns and Gadgets, and I'm here at Attorneys on Retainer. If you're serious about self-defense, it's time to get serious about defending yourself. When you become a member of AOR, they'll cover you in all kinds of scenarios in self-defense that others won't. In fact, they're able to cover you in every single state, and there aren't many that can say that either. They're an actual law firm, which means they're not held by certain limitations of other companies that are insurance-backed. And if you're serious about defending yourself, I will save you big dollars on your sign-up fee. I'll save you $25 off of your family sign-up and $50 off of your individual sign-up. All you gotta do is hit the link in the description down below. It's attorneysonretainer.us and use my code GNG. And when you give them a call, tell them I said hi. Let's be serious. When we're defending others, there's not a lot of people out there defending us. Attorneys on Retainer will have your back. Here are the four bills that were passed by the House Judiciary Committee. All Democrats voted in favor. All Republicans were opposed. Now, these bills will now go to the full House floor for a vote as early as next week. Now, we'll cover each bill, what it would do, what the arguments are, and also touch on what was not passed because one was big. Let's dive in. The first is HB 1099, which is the Undetectable Firearms Bill. Now, what the proposed law does would be make it a felony to manufacture, import, sell, ship, deliver, possess, transfer, or receive a firearm made entirely of non-metal materials. Think about that. I mean, undetectable firearms are a myth, and restrictions on the materials of a firearm are unnecessary. HB 1593 is universal background checks, or like I like to call it, the universal registration checks. What it aims to do is to outlaw the private transfer and sale of long guns unless the buyer gets government permission first. Also, it would set the stage for a registry for all firearms transactions, similar to what already exists for handguns in Pennsylvania. Now, private transfers would be restricted to FFLs requiring background checks and a paper trail that the ATF loves so much. HB 1859 is the red flag gun confiscation order. The bill would allow for ex parte secret proceedings, meaning orders granted when only one party is present, and they get to put evidence before the judge, meaning you don't get to do it. You don't even know it's happening. Before you have the ability to present counter evidence, your rights are stripped away. Guns would be seized through the order, and only afterward would a person get an opportunity to challenge that. HB 1866 is the Glock switch ban. It proposes to ban Glock switches and other conversion devices that would turn pistols into automatic weapons. It basically triples the illegality. What do you mean, Jared? Well, it's already illegal to have a unregistered machine gun. It's already illegal federally for a conversion device unregistered, and this would make it triply illegal. This is the most virtue signaling you'll see since, like I said, conversion devices are already banned under federal law, so the effectiveness here is moot. Now, it's not just what passed that matters. There were some things and amendments that didn't make it through, which tell us a lot about the political dynamics at stake. HB 837, now that was proposed by Representative Schusterman, and it proposed to limit handgun purchases to one per month. You know, the same one per month that was just ruled unconstitutional in California, of all places. Now, that was not considered in the committee only because one single Democrat, Representative Dan Miller out of D42, voted no, which caused the chairman, Tim Briggs, to pass over the bill. There was also an attempt by Republican Rob Kaufman and a few others to offer an amendment that would substitute constitutional carry in place of one of these anti-gun bills, but that amendment was defeated, all Democrats voting against it, all Republicans voting for it. So now that we know what passed and what didn't, what are the implications here? Well, there are a few things to think about. With universal registration checks and red flag laws, there's going to be an increased government control and oversight over firearm ownership, particularly for long guns here in Pennsylvania. Now, for many gun owners, that represents a big shift in how the government is involved in their transactions. The red flag legislation raises serious due process concerns. The idea of ex parte secret orders seizing guns before a person gets a chance to defend themselves in court, well, critics argue that this violates constitutional rights, notably the First Amendment, free speech, because you can't say something without fear of being red flagged. The Second Amendment violation is obvious. The Fourth Amendment violation, you're now subject to illegal search and illegal seizure of your property. The Sixth Amendment right to a speedy and public trial is gone because this is an ex parte gig, and your property is seized and the Second Amendment is restricted, all without being found guilty. And the 14th Amendment due process clause is also null and void here. And what makes it worse is your right to an attorney. Well, you don't get that because this is a civil order, not a criminal order, thus you don't get that right. Now, the Undetectable Firearms Bill would be seen as an overly broad or technologically backward in an age where materials are evolving, and it could trap unintended cases. All of these bills pass strictly on party lines in committee, which suggests strong partisan division. Now, Democrats appeared united behind these gun control measures, as did Republicans, who seemed uniformly opposed. So unless some moderate or crossover vote emerges, floor passage is going to be tight. Now, the fact that HB 837, which was the one handgun per month bill, was pulled because one Democrat voted no demonstrates that even among supporters there may be limits or reservations. And that gives gun right advocates a strategic opening there. Now, some things to watch going forward. When these bills hit the floor, House floor possibility is next week at the earliest, the debates will probably be pretty intense and amendments may be offered, so pay attention. I know GOA Pennsylvania, Val Flanell, is already trying to get everybody to contact their legislators in the state and tell them to oppose these infringements. Possible legal challenges may follow if these bills do become law. Now, the timeline, like I said, the earliest they could be voted on is next week. That's per Val Flanell over there at GOA PA. But guys, if you care about the impact of these bills and whether or not they move forward, you need to know who your legislators are. Find out who they are. It's as easy as Googling, who are my Pennsylvania state legislators? And then reach out to them, email them, call them, write them, visit them, especially if you oppose these bills. Legislators often get swayed by constituent input, particularly if there's a lot of pressure. I'm going to continue following these bills closely, and I will keep you updated the entire length of the way, especially as the House votes on these and as potential amendments appear, and hopefully legal challenges as well. If you found this breakdown helpful, give the video a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. Are these bills reasonable? Is this government overreach? And what amendments would you want to see if you were writing them? Of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay informed on the Second Amendment, and keep watching because I do videos every single day, oftentimes multiple times a day, so please check back often. Until next time, stay safe, stay armed, and stay free. Take care, America. God bless you.